Hey, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of Wrestling After Show. I'm Heath Haynes.
I'm Jonny Fairplay.
And we're here to share our unbridled opinions and speculation about the world of professional wrestling and the goings-on therein this week, the first week of October 2024. We're coming at you again from the After Show studios here in Providence, North Carolina, the heart of the Mid-Atlantic Territory. And right off the bat, I think I need to mention something about our beloved Mid-Atlantic Territory and one of the cities in the Mid-Atlantic Territory that is currently suffering, along with a lot of other cities in western North Carolina and East Tennessee, from Hurricane Helene, and that's Asheville, North Carolina, which was not a huge town for Crockett, but I mean, a town they ran real regularly.
I remember Worldwide Wrestling and NWA Pro on Saturday mornings. You know, you'd have the build up to the big Greensboro Coliseum show. No longer called the Greensboro Coliseum.
Sure.
That's the thing in the past. So, but you would those weekly Saturday shows. You'd have Asheville. You'd have Dorton. You'd have Charlotte.
Greenville was a big one too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're thinking about our friends out there in Western North Carolina. If you can help out, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you, producer Bobby, if you could post a Red Cross link in the description of this video. And we like to say hello to producer Bobby for helping us out once again this week.
He's the best
on Wrestling After Show. So just that piece of business out of the way. The big main topic today is the preview of Bad Blood, the big pay-per-view that's PLE, pardon my French.
Sure.
That's emanating from Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. And also, speaking of Atlanta, we're going to cover the recently released house show from February 1st, 1987 from the Omni in Atlanta that WWE Vault just posted last Sunday. We definitely have some thoughts on that, being the Crockett connoisseurs that we are here at Wrestling After Show. And we're also going to touch base with NXT and their premiere episode on the CW network that went down this week. But let's kick it off with this Bad Blood preview, if you will. We're going to have some predictions and some wild speculation, as you've come to expect here on Wrestling After Show. We're going to get some of the small, I hate to say smaller matches, but maybe some of the matches that not the marquee matches. We're going to talk about those right now.
Well, before we get that, there's two matches that I thought were made for Bad Blood
that are not happening,
that are not a part of Bad Blood. Number one being the Battle of the Monsters.
Okay.
We got that on Monday night.
Yep.
Tons of build towards that.
Yeah.
Lots of pomp and circumstance, like the video packages, the week after week of, and for WWE to do that huge build and then pay it off as a main event on Monday Night Raw versus, a big match, both size-wise and structure and everything else, to do a Raw main event. I think AEW and Tony Khan could take notes on that.
Well, I think we're going to be seeing that more moving forward because there's only so much PLE territory to be had. They're keeping all these PLEs at like 5-6 matches.
Perfect.
So
no complaints.
It's a great way to invest in regular TV. A great way to put the highlight on some stars who maybe necessarily aren't going to get those pay-per-view slots, but still put them in programs that you're going to care about, and you'll see a payoff on regular TV on. I think that's some win-win booking.
And then the other, of course, Gunther and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, we're not going to see that. Probably will, in all likelihood, will either be a Raw main event or we'll see that at Crown Jewel, which is going to.
I think it's the Raw main event.
It's going to be the Raw main event.
There are some Crown Jewel implications that we're going to get to.
Okay, fantastic. We're going to start off talking about Bayley and Nia Jax for the SmackDown's women. Well, I guess it's not even the SmackDown Women's Championship anymore. It's just the WWE Women's Championship.
Sure.
The champion Nia Jax defending against Bayley. And I don't have a lot of thoughts on this one. My prediction is Bayley goes over and Tiffany Stratton cashes in.
Yeah, we saw the dissension of with Tiffany and
Yeah, they've been
Nia
working on
Jax
that.
has been building and building and building, and I love the idea and concept. I just feel the execution is, but I don't think they have chemistry together.
No.
So, and I feel like the acting is subpar compared to the other acting we're seeing. I mean, you're having these dynamic performances by Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and even Sami Zayn. Like, I feel like everyone is really just hitting on all cylinders, and just the acting part of it with Nia Jax and Tiffany.
I see what
subpar.
I see what you're saying. I was a fan of that pairing initially, and over the weeks, it sort of descended into your usual sort of backstage comedy hijinks, involving sometimes your boys, the oh babies. What are they? The pretty guys. Pretty deadly.
Sure.
Yeah, and dragging them down further. Yeah, and then just match quality between Bayley and Naomi trying to figure out who's going to be the opponent in this. Their matches are just kind of sloppy and not a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, not too invested in this, but I do think if anybody comes out of it shining, I do hope it's Tiffany Stratton, because she's rad.
I like all the participants. I don't feel the chemistry's there. I feel the Bayley character is kind of flat. I don't know what needs to happen to fix it, but it's not saying role model before your music. It's not changing music. I don't even think time away is necessary, but I think there needs to be some kind of shift, and Bayley's not hitting it.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working for me.
I think Nia Jax in the monster queen role works individually. As I said, it's just some of the acting part I don't like, but I really enjoyed her match at SummerSlam.
I thought everything Nia Jax was doing before she got the belt was awesome, and it's just what since then. Yeah,
it's like let it be over.
Yeah, it hasn't been doing it for me.
So I'm okay with the Money in the Bank cash in. I don't know if that's what's. I don't know if we end Bad Blood or end the first match about wherever it appears on the card. I don't know if we end with the Tiffany Stratton Championship. I am willing to go out on a limb and say that we're not leaving with Bayley as champion.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's that. Yeah. My call is definitely Bayley wins, Tiffany cashes in, or maybe Tiffany just breaks bad and cashes in on Nia. Who knows? But I'm definitely calling for a Tiffany Stratton cash in. Here we go with the first of two matches revolving around issues concerning the Judgment Day.
Judgment Day runs Raw.
That's right, and they handle their business, and they put everybody on notice every week.
Every week, whether you like it or not.
Some
weeks I don't.
Damian Priest, and Finn Balor, and this is just your classic grudge match. There's no stipulation here, correct?
Yeah, I think this is a match that could be like a Monday Night Raw main event, but I feel putting it on the PLE adds a little more prestige to it.
Yeah,
and this could be the first of multiple, and so we could work our way down the line to a Monday Night Raw main event with the two of these meeting again.
As far as who goes, I mean, the build to this has all been for me and Finn Balor, like the rise of Finn Balor and his dramatic grimacing, which takes this whole thing to a new level for me. He has a very effective dramatic grimace for me, and it makes me care greatly about what he's going to do in this match. And I think and this is I'm going to throw to our. We're going to reference this in the classic segment on today's episode, but I am sick and tired of seeing modern day heels win clean. I want to see my heels, if they win at all, win dirty, and I'm ready to see Finn Balor. And I'm not just talking about outside interference, because that happens all the time.
I was about to say that's every Monday.
I'm talking about like using a foreign object, but hiding it.
Yeah, like
You
the roll
know,
of quarters, the back of the
chicanery.
I'm okay with the roll of quarters breaking open.
Duplicitous behavior on the heel side of the equation. I like to see that kind of win for a heel, and I would like to see that in this instance, and then therefore furthering whatever sort of the issue between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. However, it would be great. It'd be a great moment in the house, for the audience, the live audience, to see a Damian Priest victory. I think there's maybe a little bit more money to be had, maybe a crown jewel implication. And, I think they kick this can down the road, and we see a Finn Balor win, hopefully with, by cheating.
Yeah,
and not just outside interference.
Not outside.
Yeah, what do you think?
Finn needs the win more than Damian Priest.
Okay.
Damian Priest is kind of bulletproof right now.
He's doing great.
So he's over.
Getting that belt off of him got him to the level he needed to be when he had the belt.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But I think the belt helped.
Yeah.
So just not while he had it.
Sure.
So Finn needs to be built up to be taken serious. Like, if Finn loses, I feel like a lot of the audience is like, well, of course, Damian's better.
Yeah.
So Finn takes the fall, every other time in the tag strap matches.
Yeah. And this is their first match, correct? This is their first one-on-one singles match. Yeah. So this can't be it. They need to get a couple more matches out of this.
They've been building up these TV main events, and this, theoretically should have been. I'm glad it's on the PLE. To steal your phrasing, kicking the can is the best move for everyone involved.
I think so.
It does not hurt Damian Priest whatsoever.
Perhaps the match with more drama involved with the Judgment Day is the next match we're going to talk about, and that's for the Women's World Championship. The champion, Liv Morgan, defending against the former champion, Rhea Bloody Ripley. The stipulation is Dominic Mysterio not on a pole, but in a cage. And this is my concern. This is my concern. Before I get into what I think is going to happen, the whole thing with the cage, if the cage is like just at ringside or up on the stage, so what? The cage needs to be 30 feet above the ring.
The rumor and innuendo is they have so much going on with the height perspective with the Hell in the Cell. It's just too much up there.
Oh, okay.
So that's the rumor and innuendo.
Sure.
So, but it's not as though because we're not hearing Dominic talk about his fear of heights.
He's talking about his claustrophobia.
Based on his PTSD from all of his time in jail.
Yeah. When he was locked up, and that changes a man, Johnny.
Minutes to hours.
That changes a man.
It does. He had the teardrop. Maybe.
So here's the question, though. As far as this facet of this Judgment Day turmoil and drama, did they kick this can down the road, or do we get a decisive finish? And I think in this case, they like title changes on these PLEs.
They do.
But if we're already getting that in the Bayley Nia Jax, maybe this is a situation where Liv Morgan holds on to the title, and or maybe it's a situation where Rhea Ripley wins. But I feel like there's a lot of potential for some surprise appearances, surprise returns, possibly this weekend. And maybe we'll see that in this match. Maybe the return of Alexa Bliss getting involved with this sort of thing. Or is that too many diminutive hot blondes?
I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking about Alexa Bliss right now.
Yeah.
I like Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I don't love her. Her husband Ryan Cabrera does.
Yeah.
So that's covered. I don't need to.
She's been gone for a while. She's teased. She's been active on social media recently. Do you think maybe that's further down the road?
My ears are still listening and ready to be receptive for a Charlotte Flair return.
Okay, now speaking of returns, go. Well, I recently read an extensive injury report. I can't remember where I read it. It was probably Cage Side Seats or somewhere, or maybe it was on Reddit. Even less likelihood that it's true. But apparently, the word on Charlotte is like no time soon for a return for her. Yeah, she's still pretty. Whatever it was, still recovering from that. So I don't know, but like I said, Alexa Bliss has been active recently, dropping hints on social media. So possibly a return there. But as far as like who, I don't know. I think maybe getting that belt back on Rhea is going to be the way to go. But then that sort of diminishes Judgment. Judgment Day does look good with three belts. The two tag belts and so. I don't know. I think we're definitely going to see some, or maybe Tiffany decides she wants to cash in on the winner of this match.
And
another option.
And we have Tiffany joining the same brand as her boyfriend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
travel-wise.
Ludwig Kaiser. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for either one of those two. Happy-go-lucky kids.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't feel that Rhea Ripley needs the title.
Right.
She's so like similar to Damian Priest. They're pretty big right now, and they're about as hot as it gets. Like does she need it? Whereas Liv, I think Liv is in a better spot with that championship than without it. So
I like heel champions, and if you look at who the champions are on Raw right now, we got heel world champion, heel tag team champions, heel women's champion, one babyface champion, Jey Uso. That's perfect. That's great. Yeah. Keep it on Liv.
That's old Crockett booking right there.
That's right. The money's in the chase, baby.
That's not the Vince McMahon school of champions.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
keep it on Liv.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I just don't feel like until I guess Becky comes back, or like I don't feel there's anything else for Rhea Ripley to do. Like if Rhea beats Liv, how much do we really care about the rematch?
Right.
I don't think we do. So whereas once again, we can kick this can and we're still caring.
You like that, don't you?
I do.
Kicking the can.
Well, I mean, that was one of my favorite games as a kid, and one of my favorite Twilight Zone stories from Twilight Zone the movie.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that made me Scatman Crothers.
Yeah.
The voice of like more cartoon dogs in the 70s than like any other.
He wasn't Tony the Tiger.
Okay,
that guy was one arena down the road for no reason.
That's a rabbit hole that we don't need to go down. All right, so that was 3 matches right there out of the 5. There's 2 matches.
See you guys next week. Oh, sorry.
2 matches remaining. Let's go ahead and talk about the big tag team match.
All right.
The Bloodline combination, not the actual tag team element of the Bloodline, not the what are they? The Tongaloa Tama Tonga, not the Tongan brothers, not them, but the other wing of the family, the Fatu wing, which with why do I call him Damien Fatu?
Jacob
Fatu and Solo Sikoa going up against the new Mega Powers, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns in a tag team match. What's at stake here?
That is the intel that I have for you.
Okay. To me, there's not really anything at stake here.
This
is just this is another block in the pavement, another step on the trail, if you will, to something bigger down the road for all these men and possibly more. I think there's going to be some drama in this match. There's going to be a lot of ramifications coming out of this match. The match itself will be fine. But I think more than any other match on this card, this is where we're going to see some surprises, possibly some returns, possibly more new members of this new bloodline appearing, possibly a Jimmy Uso coming out of the woodwork, and maybe the reformation of the OG bloodline that we've talked about in these weeks. As far as who wins, doesn't matter. Whoever.
I do think it's going to matter.
Pick a side. This is what I think, but obviously this man over here has some opinions. Go ahead.
Well, Cody Rhodes was on Pat McAfee's show.
He was.
And he said he's not going to let the entire cat out of the bag, but there are major implications in this match that will be revealed by way of video package or whatever during the PLE.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm not going to say what it is. He's like, I've already said too much. He goes, but it is huge moving forward. And I believe he referenced going to Crown Jewel. So maybe whoever gets the pinfall gets the title match at Crown Jewel.
I've seen early reports of The Rock showing back up.
Yeah.
And leading to a WWE Championship match on night one of Raw on Netflix.
Sure.
That's what I've seen. As far as I know, The Rock is still shooting that movie, though, The Smashing Machine.
I think he's done with that.
Is he done with that?
I think he's done with that. But
I thought movies were going to keep The Rock gone for a lot longer.
No, I felt like there was a little gap here, and it could be as much of as little as a 1 week, 2 week gap.
Right. I'm not ready for The Rock to show back up. I think if he comes back, it should be closer to Mania, or maybe the classic, road to WrestleMania, like he shows back up at the Rumble or something like that. But like I said, this match. The match is the match, whatever. But there will be major developments storyline-wise happening. And I think that's going to influence its placement on the card, which I think this – I don't agree with it, but I think this match is probably going to be probably going to go last.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I think if the Rock does show up, then of course they're putting the Rock on last. The rumor and innuendo and potential scuttlebutt that was mentioned in conversation on Jason Powell's Pro Wrestling Boom podcast. Shout out Jason Powell. His guest this week, my good friend Rich Fan from the PW Torch. Rich Fan's reckless speculation is rumor and innuendo potential main event of WrestleMania is a 3-way dance, winner takes all. The Chili Pepper necklace, Cody's championship, and Rock's stupid Muhammad Ali belt.
That's fucking stupid as hell.
But
it's
like trying to get over the Continental Classic belt.
But
no one cares about that belt.
And so in that scenario, the 3-way, it would be The Rock, Cody, and Roman, or Solo,
Roman.
or it would be Roman.
Yeah.
Well, my big picture, I don't know if we really talked about this, but I've kind of in my little booking mind have had it that eventually it will be revealed that Solo Sikoa is sort of the field general, shall we say, the brigadier general of this new bloodline, and we're going to find out that the actual head of that table is The Rock.
Yeah.
And he's been pulling the strings all along.
Sure.
So yeah, maybe that comes to pass. I mean, blood is in the title of the PLE.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and I think that's not a misnomer. That's not by accident. Everything is by design. So
yeah, and I don't,
major bloodline developments.
Yeah, and I don't think this is when everybody shit cans Cody. Like it's not Roman's back with Solo, The Rock, and it's just and then and RKO, they're just like, well, we weren't on the card, brother. Like, you got everything by yourself, remember?
That was, I don't know if I don't think we even got to touch on that, and we probably won't, but there was that moment, like, I'm still leaning towards for Survivor Series, New Bloodline versus Cody, Roman, KO, Randy, and the big turn from both of those guys at the end onto Cody, and just the way they're building it, the little touches. This week, Randy and KO in the ring, calling out the Bloodline. Bloodline comes out. Here comes Cody. Let's get a tag team match. Cody's like, let's make it a six-man. He's like,
brother.
no, we got it.
No.
You got your partner. You're good. We're gonna handle this. Love that.
You could have chosen us as a partner.
Love that.
And you hurt my feelings.
Yeah. And we still haven't got the big every time Kevin Owens goes to sort of vocalize his emotions in the ring, he gets cut off by the Bloodline. So I doubt that we're ever going to get the heartfelt KO promo. Just like, dude, like, come on.
You didn't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
All you had to do is pick up the phone.
We're never going to get that. And actually, we don't.
For those of you who don't know, we look up Mr. Wonderful and Hulk Hogan. All Hulk had to do was pick up the phone, brother. He was there.
What?
Hulk was there.
Oh.
And history repeated itself. George Foreman Grill, Hulk didn't pick up the phone. We got the Hulk Hogan blender.
Yes, a very likely story from our friend Mr. Bolea. Yeah. And then what I feel by all marks should be the main event, but probably is not going to be the match with the longest, almost a year-long feud. This thing is going to culminate.
It started in November.
It started.
So we're 11 months in, and I think it ends. This is it.
Well, officially, it has to start you have to say it started at the beginning of December because it happened on the Raw after Survivor Series. So either the very tail end of November.
He stormed out of the building at Survivor Series.
That's true.
Seth threw the tantrum ringside.
Yeah.
Drew threw the tantrum.
But
backstage.
That wasn't on screen. That was off screen. So the first time that we hear shots fired from Drew McIntyre against CM Punk, it was on Raw after Survivor Series. So really we're talking about December. So 10 months. Okay. 10 months.
It's still a lot.
And a lot of ins and outs. We've seen
bracelets.
But these guys are going to get it done this week in Atlanta, Georgia. In a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. We're talking, of course, about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I have thoughts on this, and I've been ready for this. I was ready for it to be over. I thought it was over. Then I was ready for it to not be over. And now I don't know if ready to be over is how I'm feeling. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it is going to be, I think they're going to have the leash off. I think we're going to see violence on a scale that we have not seen in the world of wrestling entertainment in a long time. And it will be justified. It will be violence. It will be a level of violence that has been earned over this past 10 months of development. And if a center block is involved, if a steel chair is involved, if barbed wire is involved, if baseball bats are involved, by God, they will all have been earned by all the work that these two guys have put in on this thing over the course of this year. It's been a pleasure to watch. And it's a testament. It's a testament to CM Punk first and foremost, and it's also a testament to Drew McIntyre rising to this occasion. I mean, who fucking knew this guy had any of this in him? He was in 3MB.
Sure,
that was his thing. He left. He came back. He reinvented himself multiple times over, and. He's just been amazing. And what they have done, if you really look at it and you look at a lot of the meaning and all of this storytelling from Drew McIntyre's angle, they're basically capitalizing on all the momentum that AEW could have capitalized on.
Sure.
And failed miserably because they don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. And WWE was just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is all the groundwork is there. Returning superstar from a previous generation shows back up to, get his old glory, but he's kind of stealing some of the thunder from these new guys who have been here holding down the ship, while he's been off doing whatever the fuck. And there's hard feelings. And also back in the day, you were kind of a dick to me in the locker room, and I've seen you around here, and I don't like you. You're a poison, and we want you gone. Like that's the seed of this entire fucking program. And it's like, and they've made, and they're good, so much, just nothing but money from this whole fucking thing. And I am gonna hate to see it be over.
But this is it.
But this is it. And like I said, violence on a level we have not seen in years. Double juice for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be seeing anybody go through the top of the cage or anything like that. But double juice and
are they both wearing white?
I want to see Punk go over, but if he doesn't, I'll understand. But my prediction is gonna be what the heart wants. The heart wants, and this heart wants CM Punk victorious in Atlanta. What say you, Fairplay?
All right. Well, let's quickly go through what you'll allow, what you won't allow.
Okay.
I guess I'll chime in as well. I'm here. I might as well. All right. Are we okay with the cinder block?
No.
Okay. Gimmick cinder block or real cinder block? Neither one you're okay with.
No.
I'm okay with no cinder block.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad we agree on that.
All right.
That's a nice foundation to build on, huh?
Yeah.
That's a shitty fucking joke right there.
Wow. That's tough. Comedy's hard. I find
I've noticed that. I've noticed that.
Thank you.
Center blocks. No. What else?
All right. Hypodermic needle.
No.
Okay. I just want listen. You said a level of violence we have not seen in WWE.
Yeah.
We have seen this level of violence in AEW. So I just want to throw out.
Yeah.
So hypodermic needle. No. I'm at a no on that as well.
All right.
Plastic bag over the head.
I'll allow it, Terry Funk.
I would have allowed it if we didn't just see it.
Yeah.
So, but I would have.
Yeah.
But the answer right now is no for me.
Yeah.
You're going with the no?
Yeah.
What about paper bag?
No, say no bags.
No bags.
No bags.
Okay.
What I would like to see are your traditional pro wrestling implements of destruction. Chairs, tables. I think we had a strap match for the last match, a return of the strap, or the introduction of the dog collar or some sort of chain, just like
a chain or a strap.
Your classic chain, some whipping involved, because whipping has sort of been a running theme through this whole deal. I'm flashing back to the Batista Triple H WrestleMania. I think it was Batista's last match, where they pulled out a toolbox and started working on each other with like pliers and shit. I would allow that.
What was it? Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy with the screwdriver through the ear gauge.
Yeah, I would take that. Some of that.
Are you pro or anti ear gauge?
If that's your thing and you like to do it, great.
I hate it. Can't stand it.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I just like of all the things, like I actually hate it.
You mean the plugs, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a different thing.
Okay.
That's a totally different podcast.
What other weapons would you possibly want to see?
I don't know. I'm not saying I want to see. I want thumbtacks.
No. I bet they do though. I bet they do, because it's
an homage to Mick Foley and Undertaker.
It would be. And basically what you're describing is like all the shit in AEW that is either overused or they think is like really gonna get a reaction. But it's in the case of center blocks and hypodermic needles, it's like obviously that's either a fucking fake center block or you would be dead. And that's
no, it was a real cinder block.
the last time.
The first two, there's nothing worse than a fake cinder block. It is so stupid. I mean, because it's just obvious. It's just like, where do you buy your cinder blocks? Because I don't want to use those for my house. They're horrible.
Yeah.
Like first storm, it melts. So it's paper mache. So I hate the fake. They ended up using a real one, and I was just like, I think I hate this more.
Yeah, it's like
wrestling's a work.
You shouldn't be using shit that like you could legit kill people with, and that's why baseball bats strain credibility as well, because
sledgehammers.
Because it's like if I had a baseball bat and you were coming at me to do me harm, or I intended to do you harm, I wouldn't take it and hold it like this and jab you in the fucking gut with it. I'd take a swing at your fucking melon.
You wouldn't go for a bunt?
And so that's, so baseball bats, but kendo sticks all fucking day. Let's go, man. I mean, because like they sound fucking great. Yeah. They hurt like son of a bitch. Sure. And like you're not going to fucking kill anybody with a kendo stick.
Yeah. So kendo sticks, yes. Baseball bats, no.
Chairs, yes. Tables, yes. Chains, yes.
Barbed wire of any kind.
Again, with the barbed wire baseball bat, that's like,
I don't like that. But I'm just saying, like what if Punk is down or Drew is down? Let's just say, for argument, because I like the heat aspect of a match like this more than anything. Punk's down. Drew goes and grabs some barbed wire and wraps it around the ropes.
Wraps it around the ropes, wraps it around the ring post. I can see. I don't want to see any sort of like fucking, oh, look what we found. It's barbed wire box springs right here. Like that's fucking horse shit.
I don't like that stuff.
Yeah, but then the other thing is like, I kind of think about this. What are the things that you would find under a professional wrestling ring? Just like, because, they need to be around. You need extra tables. You need extra chairs.
Prime energy drink.
You don't necessarily, not going to find a chain underneath underneath there, unless somebody has planted it there for future use. But you will find a toolbox. There's going to be a toolbox under that ring, because there's always shit to wrench on and everything. So I think that's why.
Shit bucket. Just
in case you got Tommy Rich hiding out under there,
or Kurt Hennig. Shit buckets are apparently very popular while you're.
But you're not going to find barbed wire just hanging out under a wrestling ring, unless somebody's put it there. So that sort of goes a little, and you got to remember who's in this match, and CM Punk likes it. He's like us. He likes it when shit makes sense.
Yeah, it's just so old. Like, I mean, they're watching old Hell in a Cell matches, but they're watching old Dusty Steel Cage matches. They're watching old stuff, and we're going to get an homage to some of that stuff, and it's just going to be done right and make sense.
Well, to reference that, CM Punk just made an appearance on a podcast. I just read this before we went on air. And he was referencing how the Hell in the Cell match in current WWE landscape has just sort of become this thing. It's this big structure, and we're going to just have this match inside of it. And they name a pay-per-view after it, and it's like you just end up having these Hell in a Cell matches that like this match could happen anywhere, and it just so happens that because of the time of the year, it's Hell in a Cell time, so we're going to do it. What he wants to introduce back into the concept of Hell in a Cell match is that level of violence and unpredictability that we've been talking about. But again, CM Punk does like things to make sense, and I think we will see some extraneous weaponry, although that was never a hallmark of Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell match in and of itself was violent enough. You didn't need all this extra shit.
Yeah.
But I think modern day fans are going to want to see some furniture. They want some furniture.
Do you like the cage not being red anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Did you like it the first time you saw it?
Perhaps, but honestly, I think the first time, the first time it was red, was that in conjunction with the Fiend, and also the lighting was all red too, or was the cage red before that?
I have no idea.
Because I remember seeing that. I mean, that fucking. I never sat through the whole thing, but that Seth Rollins Fiend Hell in a Cell match where they ended up hitting up each other with like a cartoon sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And fucking, it was like that was all horse shit. Yeah. We don't want to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't think this is going to be it's going to be the main event of my heart. And I want to see CM Punk. Who do you see winning?
So I independently came up with this thought.
Okay, let's go.
CM Punk wins.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a 10-month feud. Let the good guy win.
Yeah.
Punk's so. But reckless speculation by my good friend Rich Fan from the PW Torch that was on the Pro Wrestling Boom podcast with Jason Powell from ProWrestling.net.
All our friends of the show.
Sure. His reckless speculation is Punk wins, and Adam Pearce says, "That's it. It's over," and trades Drew McIntyre to SmackDown. Because there's no way this can
be. They can't coexist.
They cannot.
They cannot coexist.
They cannot.
I'll buy that.
And I'm cool with that.
Who does
Raw get?
Roman Reigns? Because you were saying Reigns is supposed to come over for the Netflix deal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. I mean, like, that's why I was just like, does Charlotte come in? Charlotte's going to stay on the same show that
you'd think Andrade. Yeah.
So what name on SmackDown so they're not separating Kevin and Randy from Cody right now.
Okay.
Not happening. So they're off the table. I don't think they're sending anyone from the quote unquote bloodline. I don't think they're trading Drew McIntyre for the bloodline.
Right.
I guess they could, but I don't see it. So who?
What? So you're talking about SmackDown top of the card heel?
Heel or babyface. It doesn't have to. I mean, but what top of the line SmackDown guy is or girl is out there? This
doesn't necessarily fit your description because they're not necessarily top of the line. But AJ Styles goes over to Raw for a little hot second, and maybe him and Punk getting a little fucking thing. You don't hate it.
I kind of do.
You kind of do.
Yeah. No, I think Punk wins. I think we're gonna revisit old business. I feel there's a potential to revisit old business with Punk calling out Gunther once again, but either I feel like Seth's hands are tied with Bronson Reed right now.
Yeah.
So I want to see Punk in there with someone young.
I'm sure he would too.
So I mean, like Logan Paul.
Perhaps, yeah, I could see that. But
that just he is literally a disruptor.
Yeah,
and that disrupts Punk from that Gunther chase.
And Logan Paul can work good enough, and he's enough of a IRL shithead that Phil Brooks, the human being Phil Brooks,
hates.
Fucking has a lot of problems with that guy.
Yeah.
And that could be some magic. So yeah.
And the mic,
I like that. And he's about at that same card like a Drew McIntyre. That's a super even trade right there. From Raw to SmackDown. Logan Paul coming over to Raw. And plus Netflix deal.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. But
do you love it?
I think it's pretty good. I love it more than my idea.
Sorry, I didn't.
But
I stole it from Rich Fans.
Okay,
so don't give me too much credit.
Speaking of history lessons, though, we do need to move along to get to our because I know we're real anxious to talk about the that Omni show.
It's Jonny Fairplay, reality TV icon, Survivor Hall of Famer, and I'm talking today about Work Money. Work Money is a non-profit organization that focuses on lowering costs and raising incomes for all Americans to make American life more affordable and American families more economically secure. They provide products, services, perks, benefits, tips, and tools to help members improve their financial lives. It's time to level up and make more money in this economy. We're talking getting rich. Now, this sweepstakes is giving away $50,000. You can use this to pay your rent, your mortgage. Imagine what you can do with all the money that you'll save. Now, this is put on by Work Money, and this site has all these sick benefits, and it's free. Go sign up right now and get more rich. Now, listen, you can change your life. Now, what would you do if you didn't have to pay your rent or mortgage for a year? Listen, sign up right now for free. Link is available right here in the show notes. Check them out. Personally, I'd get more pinball machines. I'm Jonny Fairplay. I wouldn't lie about that. It's Work Money. More money.
We are going to mention real quick the NXT debut episode on the CW network went down this Tuesday. They had a killer rating. What was that rating?
895,000.
895,000.
It's more impressive than that.
Okay, what's that? How's that?
It literally went head-to-head against MLB playoff games, not games.
Yeah.
Okay?
And a vice presidential debate.
And the vice presidential debate.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I wasn't in the boardroom meetings, but I would imagine a huge component of this for the CW is we need people to get that app.
Okay. Yeah.
I got the app.
Yeah. You got the CW app?
Yeah.
So
and it's you just go.
So you can watch it on the app. You don't have to watch it on broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I watched it on broadcast this week.
The next morning I came there, I was just like, oh, do I want to search for this? And I was just like, you know what? I was like, this is CW. And like, Billy Corgan, I felt, did a really good job promoting the CW app based on their TV deal that went from CW to the app.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me just I mean, like, I can download it. And if this,
so you can watch it the next day on the app?
You might be able to watch live on the app. I don't know. I just know the next morning I was just like, let me see. If it's not there, I just delete it,
Yeah.
So, but it's
there it was.
2 seconds, boom, here you go, watch. I'm like, whoa.
Fantastic. So, and as far as just the way it looked, I thought, and we'll see if the presentation holds to when they're back in the Performance Center, but Allstate Arena looked great. They really brought the presentation in line with sort of the main roster WWE production style. They had the white ropes, which was a nice look. Simplified entrance. The new just sort of like silver chrome NXT logo. And they rebranded their two main titles, so that all looked great, and I thought were nice touches.
So the simplified staging that they did, correct me if I'm wrong, it might have been made new. Isn't that just what they were? Isn't that the staging they were using when they were selling out all these arenas and they needed to make some more seats available?
Well, it's in general they have gone with a smaller Titantron.
But they were swapping out the big Titantron for the small one to allow more seating.
Yeah.
Do you think that all that is the other Titantron? They're still selling out, but they don't need to add another 2,000 seats now.
Yeah,
they're just selling out.
Yeah.
So you think they're just like, well, shit, we're not using. We don't need to add 2,000 seats. So let's just give NXT that.
I don't know, but it
could
looked,
be.
It looked great.
I like the silver.
Yeah, so it looked great. Nice big room, sold out Allstate Arena on national television. Having said all that, though, I thought the in-ring was a little rough in parts.
It's a forgiving audience, though.
Starting off, it was my first look at Julia, seeing anything she'd done, and she's fucking rad. I think she's great. And honestly, with her and Roxanne Perez, they did have a couple of nice exchanges, obviously scripted, but, and a lot of back and forth. But they look great. Ultimately, Roxanne Perez, too small for me. Don't dig it.
As a heel.
Yeah. Well, and even as a spunky babyface, I mean, she's just diminutive.
Well, I hate a spunky babyface anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel she plays that role better.
Definitely whatever she's doing as a heel doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And then they had a garbage match / acrobatic exhibition with those two guys. And I guess the one guy took like a really scary, terrible fucking bump. not my cup of tea, so was not into that. There was girls tag team match, which was pretty cool, I thought. We had the first Miz TV after his heel turn from Monday night, and obviously everybody in that arena had watched the product because he got booed out of that fucking building. But again,
I love Miz back there. Miz as a baby face, like, I mean, with the charity stuff, the appearances he does, and all that stuff, and he's literally earned your love him, like him or hate him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's earned your respect.
Yeah, and you know, he had this. His segment was Obafemi and Don Tony, which there's a couple of problems I have with NXT overarching are reliance on comedy gimmicks, and I know that with this Don Tony guy, they're trying to portray him as like sort of like, no, he's like a legit dude. I'm sorry, you're FBI at fucking ECW. You're like,
Guido Sarducci.
Yeah, he's just it's just like
or
a fucking
Tommy Rich.
It's just a stupid, unbelievable, fake, phony gangster gimmick. It's like, oh, you're a real gangster? No, you're not. And so it's like,
you'd be in jail.
If they want that guy to be perceived as anything more than a comedy character, I don't know. But it's not for me. Love fucking Obafemi. He's great. And then we had the main event, which those guys. I knew those guys were going to be fucking awesome. Love Ethan Page. Love Trick Williams. Here's my little vignette for the night, though. So everybody who watches this show knows how I feel about Booker T on commentary. It's fucking god awful. Much respect to everything he's done in the business, but like his takes and his fucking voice are grating to me, and
he takes away from the product.
Not a fan. So Trick Williams is making his entrance. One of the better entrances in fucking WWE today, and he fucking sings all over top of it. This is when my dad has like made his entrance. He was out, and then he comes in, and now he's going to sit down and watch this wrestling with me. So it's the Trick Williams and whoop that trick. What? Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Yes. I like, and fucking Booker T just interjecting. My dad sits down and he's like, who's that announcer? Is he like a former wrestler? And I was like, yeah, he's a former wrestler and he sucks. And my dad's like, yeah.
No, I have never understood the Booker T. I think Booker T is more than okay for the pre-show.
He's great for the pre-show.
At that panel, like when the people walk in, Booker T. I did the 5-time on the Royal Rumble.
Like his energy, because he's like a hype guy essentially. So like for a pre-show, he's bringing up that energy. He's engaging with the crowd. But on commentary, it's just like that for fucking 2 hours. I'm sorry,
you don't need a hype guy for a commentator. It literally makes no sense.
Yeah. And then he doesn't really. And he's not playing, not that he would have to necessarily, but like that role has traditionally been like you're kind of the heel fucking color guy.
Yeah.
And
he's not that.
And he's not that because his allegiances like go back and forth. He like some of the heels he likes.
Matchly. I was about to say episodically. No. Yeah. Every other match, he's heel or babyface.
So not great. And it was great to see Trick get the title back again.
Too soon?
And no, I think it was fine. And it gives fucking Ethan Page. They could put it back on Ethan Page if they need to, But it gives him an out. He can bitch about CM Punk and I want a rematch, and then it moves to something down the road. But I think long story short is I think I'm going to continue my previous practice of watching NXT highlights on YouTube, either night of or day after. I might get the CW app and check it out. But I'm not going to be watching the full episodes on CW week to week.
I'm gonna check out the St. Louis. They had tickets on sale for the big arena, and then they had to move it to a small arena, which I love it.
That's fine.
I love intimacy, and whatever you want it to look successful.
They'll sell out a 6,000 seat room. It'll look great on fucking TV. Yeah.
So I got no problem with that. But rumor and innuendo, the day after their last NXT tapings at Full Sail, where they do the tapings, full construction crew in there.
Yeah. So it's going to be a brand new set when they go back.
We're gonna have a new look, and I'm cool with it. Like I love how they're always kind of attempting to reinvent the wheel down there, and no, I think CM Punk's referee outfit.
Oh, are you talking about the
vignette,
the social media short? Yeah, that was great. Yeah, speaking of short, that was awesome.
So I saw that, and I was just like, Punk's all in.
Yeah.
For anyone that was sus for the last 10 months, literally, it's just, what's this guy's real angle? Is he gonna short circuit and we're gonna get the same CM Punk that was backstage at AEW? Where is this guy's head? Where's his loyalty? Where's his heart? Where's his value? Where's all these things? And and I saw some Twitter comments. He was like, oh my God, Punk's the biggest stooge of all of them. Oh my God. I saw that, I was just like, he's all in.
He's having fucking fun, man.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
He's fucking all in, and that's a good thing.
He's having fun. He's where he needs to be.
He's home.
Yeah, he's Punk in AEW was not. He would have liked his role in AEW to be as such where the environment would become a product of him, that he would be able to cultivate, this environment of support and learning with all these new guys and all these old guys, and that's not what was there. No. So rather than the environment becoming a product of him, he became a product of that environment.
Yeah.
In AEW, and that was obviously not either what he bought into or what was sold. And yeah, man, he wasn't happy, and he fucking chafed, and that's where we saw what you're talking about backstage with him. Whereas now, and he said this in interviews, like the way WWE is now backstage is the result of changes that he wanted to see happen, back in the day. And so this current environment is a product of him, and he's thriving, and he loves it.
All right. CM Punk, cowboy hat, referee shirt, short shorts.
Gauze.
Yeah, gauze. Is CM Punk a sellout?
No, dude. He's having, and we've talked about this before, comedy and wrestling is real fucking tricky for me, and I think
it's tricky for a lot of people.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of things that happen in wrestling that are funny and not intentional comedy, and there are some things in wrestling that are funny that are intentional and work, and that segment for me worked.
I loved it. As I said, it was that moment, right? Like, we're gonna look back at years down the road and be like, wow, like, did we get the Punk we wanted? Like, his first match back, he didn't really have a sea legs under him, and we're like, ooh, that wasn't great. His next match, was better. The mic stuff has been 90% good. A couple is. Is the bracelet really that important to any? There's and it's just like, is this guy gonna hit a limit and be like, what this is? No, I think we saw on Tuesday night, this guy's he's quote unquote all in, but like, I think we're gonna see that moment. It's just like, I think that's the moment that we were solidified as fans going, I think this shit's going to work out. I at that moment right there, it wasn't, the hostage video, of him, I think he wanted to do that.
Oh, yeah, and the way and the presentation of it, and we're going to do this, and we got to move on.
Yeah.
The presentation of it was perfect. It wasn't on fucking TV. It was a 30-second vignette for fucking social media, you know, and it was and you're with two guys who have a hit or miss comedy record as far as professional wrestling is concerned, but it all worked in that situation. And
what's another name for chicken? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Let's say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tough.
So yeah, so
Okay.
CM Punk is where he needs to be, and ultimately, I think he will be in charge of that developmental program. I'm going to say within 10 years.
Okay.
Within 10 years. But ladies and gentlemen, moving on to something that was I can't even fucking do a good transition for this. We're going to talk about the WWE Vault on YouTube and their presentation of a classic card from the Omni in Atlanta from February 1st, 1987. Jim Crockett Promotions live at the Omni in Atlanta. And if you've been watching this show for any amount of time, you know that Fairplay and myself, our love of professional wrestling grew from the seed that was planted in the Mid-Atlantic territory in Jim Crockett Promotions. And first off, just to see some shit that we've never seen before was huge. And the more I think about it, so if you're a fan, a modern day fan, or even somebody that just like got into wrestling in the 90s or whatever, but weren't around for the wrestling in the 80s, and you're thinking like, okay, I want to get into this stuff, and you start watching, you go to Peacock and you watch like World Championship Wrestling, or you watch Mid-Atlantic Wrestling or whatever on Peacock, you're seeing a lot of promos and you're seeing a lot of squash matches, and every once in a while you see like sort of a marquee match of like two like name guys
like
versus each other, you know,
once, twice a month tops.
Yeah, man, if that.
Yeah.
And
they're out of time.
And what you have in this match is an example of, and it's also a bigger how wrestling has changed, how wrestling television has changed. What we saw presented on the WWE Vault, that's what wrestling used to be all about. There weren't pay-per-views.
No.
Crockett had just started doing, like 4 times, like a quarterly big super card type of show. In 1987, we're talking about WrestleMania 3 was in 87. So WrestleMania is still in its infancy. Survivor Series wasn't a thing yet. Royal Rumble wasn't a thing yet. All these, the way the wrestling industry has sort of developed, where TV builds up angles that leads to big blow-off matches at pay-per-views once every couple months or once every month. That wasn't the model for years and years and years. And this is at a time in 1987 where what you're seeing, that's the fucking model. That was what that's what weekly TV was trying to get you to go to.
Yeah, you were selling the house show payoff.
Just going to the house show. Wrestling TV, weekly wrestling TV for years, Arn Anderson said it best, it was just the infomercial.
Yep.
And it was just to sell tickets to shows like we saw presented on the WWE Network. Not in its entirety, unfortunately. They cut out entrances due to, I'm sure, copyright for theme songs. But we got to see, and we didn't get to see the main event, which apparently is recorded and it was broadcast on Japanese TV. I'm sure what was another dynamite 60-minute Barry Windham Ric Flair match.
Maybe the best one.
Who knows? And maybe they'll dig it out. It's out there somewhere. Like I said, it was broadcast on Japanese TV. But what we did see in this WWE Vault presentation was I had a lot of fun with this card. Up and down the card. Started off with what we call a nice curtain jerker, a prelim match. Yeah. And we had the Central States Heavyweight Champion, Superstar Bill Dundee, in a non-title bout with, if you know some wrestling history, you know these two guys have been around the ring together many, many times in the past. And I'm talking about Dirty Dutch Mantell, who was a recent arrival in the Crockett territory at this point, as one half of the Kansas Jayhawks tag team. Bill Dundee in 86, 87 never. Okay, first off, Superstar Bill Dundee, super over, legend in Memphis. Legend in Memphis. Whatever it was, if it was the
height,
if his size, his height, if it was the Elvis impersonator aspect of his gimmick, but he's Australian. His, like, even for professional wrestling, his overabundance of the use of daddy and promos. I don't know what it was, but Bill Dundee could not get over in Maine Crockett,
not in Crockett,
and the Maine Crockett territory. Yeah. But at this point, Crockett had bought Central States just for TV time, just for the TV programs. And so you see some guys getting shipped from the Maine Crockett territory up to Central States. Bill Dundee was one of those guys, along with Sam Houston went up there as well, and they feuded a lot over that Central States title. But in this match, we get to see fucking Bill Dundee has been on the supplements, man. He was jacked. Did you notice that?
He was as big as I've seen him. Dirty Dutch Mantel, as you alluded to, a member of the Kansas Jayhawks, they brought in as a babyface tag team.
Yeah,
they never really got over in Crockett. So,
no, they didn't. They feuded with the Russians over at the dawn of the U.S. Tag Team Championship when the Russians won it. That was sort of they were going. I think they were both. They were the finals. That was the final match of the tournament to crown the U.S. Tag Team Champions, and then they just sort of had them go back and forth over a little while. But Dundee and his tag team partner Bobby Jaggers didn't really make the cut.
Or Mantell and Jaggers.
Mantell, that's correct.
So I remember their entrance. I didn't care for them, and then I remember fast forwarding probably a year, maybe even more. I remember seeing Dirty Dutch Mantell, singles, heel, house show, Greensboro, North Carolina, and he came out there, and and everybody's booing him, whatever, and he comes there, he's just like, oh, he cut a promo on the crowd. He was just like, you're all stupid rednecks. You don't deserve to see me wrestle. I'm the greatest wrestler of all time. And he was just like, and he goes, stop booing. He goes, I don't want. And they're booing. He goes, he goes, you know what? Y'all have you've annoyed me to ad nauseum. I'm over it. I'm gonna get each and every one of your phone numbers, and I'm gonna call each and every one and boo you. And me and my buddy, we waited. We never got the phone call.
You never got it.
I never. But I will fast forward a little bit in history. I was flown to the Norfolk Scope to meet with Dixie Carter, myself, and Truck from Survivor Micronesia, Joel Anderson. So they'd flown us to the Scope to meet about.
This is when
2006 maybe.
All right.
So you see us on the pay-per-view. I think Truck gets into it with Bubba Dudley maybe.
Had you done anything with TNA up to this point?
Yeah. This is the second go round. And so anyway, they flew us in. We had Truck was coming from Phoenix. I was coming from wherever I was coming from. I don't know if I was in LA or here wherever. So anyway, I fly in. Dutch Mantell picks me up at the airport.
All right.
So he comes there. He's just like, he goes, just come outside, bring your shit. So anyway, so I go outside, brought my shit, put in the car. So we're driving, and there's ODB, old dirty bitch.
Yeah.
Jessica, and she comes there and she sees it, and she's waving, and dirty Dutch Mantell goes, see her Fairplay? I guarantee her dick's bigger than yours. And he keeps on driving.
Dutch Mantell, also for the uninitiated, he might be more familiar to the modern day fan as Zeb Coulter.
Sure.
And
he meant no. Just I was the insultee.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, it was not ODB. Sure. So don't get that part twisted.
So they have a little match, and it's great. And Dundee wins with a trunk pull, roll up.
Yeah, and, roll up reversal.
Yeah, roll up reversal, trunk pull. There you go.
Yeah.
So next match is And this was really the travesty.
Yes.
And I understand why we didn't get to see it because of copyright. But it's Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, still a heel at this point.
Yep.
With Precious against Bullet Bob Armstrong, Georgia wrestling legend.
Yeah.
And the most over thing about Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin in 1987 was the entrance.
Sharp Dressed Man.
Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top.
Yep.
And he would come out in full sequin regalia, usually some sort of feather boa and sequins pants, sequins suspenders, white gloves, the whole deal. And you don't get to see that in this presentation due to copyright. However, this was there it is.
The ZZ Top keychain. Didn't expect that one for a pop.
Did not expect that. That needs to be right there. Quick match right here. Bullet Bob Armstrong goes over after foiling Jimmy Garvin's attempt at a brain buster. And it could have been on accident. It could have been on purpose. But at this point, Bullet Bob's arm was in a cast, and maybe struck a glancing blow on Jimmy Garvin, but it was enough to secure the pin in this contest. But I got to tell you, my takeaway from this match: how fucking over was Bob Armstrong?
With me, never.
Yeah, but in the Omni on this night in 1987.
I'm friends with Road Dogg. I love him like a brother. He's one of the nicest people ever. I casually met Brad, but me and Brian are friends, and we've never talked about this because I don't want to be an asshole. I never
don't get it.
I get that I don't get it. I get I've seen it, so I understand it. I hated it then. I hate it now. I'm a Gorgeous Jimmy. I'm not a Freebird Jimmy Garvin.
No, of course not.
But
there's a brief window for Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. He was great in World Class in Texas, and I'm sure he was
great, and using the term generously.
Yeah, and he was all right in AWA. But yeah, when he first showed up in Crockett, chicken shit heel, awesome entrance, sexy valet who happened to be his wife. Complete deal. But going back to Bob Armstrong, that motherfucker was over in Atlanta. He's from Georgia. The whole family is. And, they were stoked to see him. Now, and granted, you and I as kids you didn't get to watch wrestling from other territories. You watched the wrestling from the territory you lived in. And this was the beginning of the WWF national expansion. So, like, around here, we would see Crockett and WWF. And by the time Bullet Bob got brought in, because Brad was already in Crockett, and they brought Bob in a little bit later on.
He just moved up and down the card. They're just like, we're gonna give him a push this week, and no, we're not.
And Bob was, he was a little bit older at that time, and where like you and I were used to seeing like old guys in our, Wahoo McDaniel, but he was he had been around forever. He was our old guy.
Yeah.
And with Bob Armstrong, it was like, well, who's this other old guy? I don't know. But looking back on it, I definitely have my appreciation for Bob Armstrong has grown, but he's not the only Armstrong in the card.
Well, hold on, real quick. You talked about growing up here.
Okay.
Being kids. Remember the Piedmont Mall, little Jimmy Garvin and little Precious used to do laps around the mall?
I can't believe that you're the only motherfucker that knows about this besides me, and we haven't fucking talked about this. So...
Little Jimmy Garvin.
I want to fucking move along as much as the next person, and we only got about 15 minutes left in this program. But ladies and gentlemen, here in Danville, Virginia, we're in Providence, North Carolina right now, but right over the line is Danville, Virginia, where Fairplay and I both grew up. We had Piedmont Mall, and in this time, 1986, 1987, this is how fucking over Jimmy Garvin was.
It's true.
There was a Jimmy Garvin impersonator, and he got his fucking girlfriend roped into it, and she was they impersonated the whole package, and they would fucking go to the mall and just walk around. But I mean, the whole deal: the hair, the beard, the sunglasses, the fake tits, whatever, the blonde hair on Precious, and it was little Jimmy, and it was like
little Jimmy Garvin.
holy shit! We would go to the mall. Like, I can't fucking wait to see you. See if we see fucking fake Jimmy Garvin and Precious. And we have never. I'm so glad because I thought it was a case of like momentary psychosis. My dad remembers it though. My mom and dad remember.
You're just
So
like,
I knew
did
it
I
wasn't just
imagine
me.
that?
Yeah, no shit.
Little Jimmy Garvin.
Yeah,
my mom remembers little Jimmy
that's
Garvin.
a real fucking thing. They used to love to have lunch at the BLT, which is the Belt Leggett Terrace,
Yes,
the restaurant inside.
Well, they were
the
big,
department
they were
store.
big time in it.
Yeah. Holy fucking shit. That's and I got to ask Jimmy Garvin that at that first Legends Fest I went to. I was like, "Are you aware that there's a couple that walked around Danville, Virginia, impersonating you for like all of '86 and '87?" He was like, "No, I was not aware."
Oh, wow.
I was like, "They never fucking like."
I believe.
If that's I bet you don't fucking send Jimmy Garvin a postcard, a picture, like
Well, they probably did. Tony Schiavone got it and threw it in the trash.
Fucking Schiavone.
Fuck.
So anyway, Bob Armstrong, not the only Armstrong on this card, because the very next match we see his son Brad Armstrong versus 1/4 of the Four Horsemen, and in the form of the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, and just a fucking terrific match. And we have the introduction. Now, I didn't go back and check this on the timeline, but we have J.J. Dillon introducing the crowd at the Omni to one Mr. Lex Luger, the latest addition to the Crockett roster and the latest addition to the Four Horsemen roster as not a full-fledged member, mind you, but an associate. He is the associate of the Four Horsemen. And look at my hand! I just that's the Lex Luger promo, which is an L. Yeah. I never realized. Do you think that was on purpose?
No, okay. No, I don't think anything he did was on purpose. So.
No, he did this a lot.
And I'm guessing timeline wise, because once again, like the Piedmont Mall and little Jimmy Garvin is bringing back so much into it's so great. Like all that's back here that I never even thought about. I remember. Friday nights or Saturdays, whatever, weekends, you go to the mall, you do laps, whatever. I remember watching 605 Wrestling on TBS, them making the announcement, J.J. Dillon introducing the world to Lex Luger. He is an associate of the Horsemen. And I remember going to Jolly Time at the mall right afterwards and having the discussion with it's just like, what does this mean? Like this is the component. You
often talked about that's your favorite lineup of the Horsemen.
I think it represents the Horsemen better than any other.
The Luger,
just
Tully,
the look,
Arn,
the presence,
Flair.
The look, the presence. As I said, Ole with this fucking dead his T-shirt that he should have thrown away 18 years ago.
Damn, I am good.
I know. Damn, that shirt is old. Barry Windham, with his redneck shit.
Yeah.
Like that, I get it's the Horsemen, but they were just, like rich rednecks.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure probably at this point, because Luger showed up on Crockett TV and made his presence known, made his presence felt, and he made his intentions known that he was there to be a Horseman.
Yeah.
And it was within a couple of weeks. So he had probably already been on TV at that point, and that crowd had seen him. But possibly the episode of TV where he's an official associate of the Four Horsemen had maybe not aired yet. But anyway,
well, I'm curious. This is why I bring this up. I'm curious because when we do have the unveiling of of him as associate, you got the white button-up shirt, the nice slacks, the presentation, I'll be like, he wasn't rocking, a custom $10,000 suit or anything. The presentation was nice. He is literally dressed like a toddler going to Sunday school with
this deal
with his plaid shirt sleeves rolled up, pleated khaki pants. Yes.
He had obviously not taken that trip to Michael's of Kansas City yet.
Correct.
With Flair.
Yes.
So he's ringside for this match, as is J.J. Dillon. And if you know anything about Brad Armstrong and Arn Anderson, you know already that this match was a fucking banger. It was great. Back and forth. Two guys that know how to do it, just doing it.
Yeah.
And We get to see a lot of that. We get to see the spine buster before that was even a thing. You know, it was just like a move that Arn Anderson did. And Brad gets in a lot of offense. Maybe a couple of suspect drop kicks, but pretty much everything looked good. And it's, you know, a lot of arm drags and hip tosses and stuff. A lot of frustrating. Arn Anderson just getting frustrated and everything. All just a killer match. And then J.J. Dillon ref distraction, and I think Armstrong has Arn up for a suplex. Lex Luger trips Brad up. Arn falls on top of him. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Yeah, awesome.
Great house show match and finish.
They get out of there, but right behind that match, and I don't know why JJ and Lex just didn't stay out there unless
that was probably the intermission.
Okay, sure, yeah. Because the very next match is one of our favorite old guys that I just mentioned.
One of your favorite old guys.
So you don't like Wahoo?
I don't love Wahoo either.
I fucking love Wahoo.
I get it.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel taking on Tully Blanchard for the World Television Championship. My favorite version of that belt, the black strap version of that World Television Championship.
Beautiful championship. And for the record, I hated Bullet Bob. I just he was too small, too old. I hate the old singlet means you gave up.
He's small compared to, like, I don't know, Nikita Koloff, but like he's big for old dude.
Still old.
Okay.
As I said, I didn't like him. Whereas Wahoo still looked the part.
Yeah.
And
we're saying, but real quick, we're saying old.
He's right 38.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, he was probably fucking 38. Yeah.
So, but by skewered math.
Yeah.
So, but no, but I love Tully Blanchard right out of the get go.
Yeah.
I just thought Tully Blanchard was probably one of my easy top 10, maybe top 5.
Yeah.
Just loved him, and I loved Tully Blanchard versus Wahoo McDaniel anytime it was available.
Now this match is taking place in 1987. Rewind back a little bit. These guys were a tag team in 1984, and they even had I think they called themselves the Dynamic Duo. Copyright be damned. But yeah, during when Dusty took over the book, you know, he brought in his guys. He brings in Wahoo, brings in Tully, and Wahoo was on a heel run then. Yeah. So they were a tag team. That was an interesting aspect, but yeah, this match was awesome. A lot of begging off from Tully Blanchard, you know, and again a finish where it's what was the finish on this?
Belt.
Yeah. Belt.
The TV title.
Yeah,
rears its pretty face.
Lex grabs that newly re-leathered TV title and cracks Wahoo McDaniel over the head with it, enabling Tully Blanchard to get the victory.
Money well spent on the associate.
For sure.
2 for 2.
For sure.
Yeah.
2 for 2. And there's no asterisk in that and that one in that win column. That's a W.
Yeah.
And Tully Blanchard defends not only his World Television title, but also that $10,000, which comes into play in a previous match that we spoke about here on Wrestling After Show. We're going to run out of time before we get finished talking about this thing. So moving along.
Yeah, quickly.
What else was on this card? What do you got?
I got it. Midnight versus Robert Gibson and Ron Garvin. Teddy Long misses the racket shot.
Now, this is a weird match because Ricky Morton's out on injury.
Yeah.
And
supposedly falling off supposedly he had a trailer at the time and he was cleaning out his gutters, fell off and broke his nose. That's the rumor anyway. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
So this match is weird in that it's not Rock and Roll Midnight, and it's also weird that it's an elimination, which is like something that
it's a house show gimmick.
Yeah, but it's a house. Yeah, exactly. It's a house show gimmick. You didn't see it a lot back then, but you got to watch this match. Just you get to see why Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express. Why people still talk about them today. Now, you don't get to see all the hallmarks of tag team offense that people might think they're noted for. You just get to see classic tag team psychology.
Just tag team wrestling.
Tag team heel psychology.
Isolate your opponent, make the ring a quarter of the ring, and
and also the personal campaign in 1987 of Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express to make Ronnie Garvin's life a living hell.
Yeah.
They fucked with him relentlessly for all of 87. Well, not all of 87, but this beginning part of 87, eventually culminating in throwing fire, which I believe happened around this time.
I was about to say probably within 1 to 4 weeks, and then the reveal that gorgeous Jimmy Garvin was in fact Ron Garvin's brother, and then we have the Garvin brothers.
That might have to be one of our next classic matches, because what we're referring to is the episode of NWA Pro Wrestling where the Midnight Express against the U.S. Tag Team Champions Barry Windham and Ron Garvin, and let's just say the finish to that match is fiery.
Sure.
And we might be talking about that real soon coming up. So this match was great. I loved it.
Big Bubba Rogers later becomes the big boss man. Interference at the end to
referee Teddy Long becomes Teddy Long.
Yeah. So, and the baby faces win, the heels get their heat back, and then they powder out. All is well in the world.
Yeah, they kicked the shit out of Ron Garvin afterwards. That I was like, wow, they really fucking had it out for Ron Garvin. And we get to see real quick. I'm sure the entrances were the main facet of this next match we're going to talk about, because this match didn't even happen. It was Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear, and his new charge, his new disciple, Vladimir Pietrov, who he's brought over from the motherland to take the place of the recently defected Nikita Koloff.
Minneapolis, Russia.
Again, Nikita Koloff has defected from the Koloff family, from the Soviet Union, to tag team with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So what we're supposed to get is a tag team match, the Superpowers, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff versus Ivan Koloff and Vladimir Pietrov. But before the match, Ivan Koloff has some strong words for the Russian Nightmare. And this match doesn't even get, I don't even know if they ring the bell or if it even gets off the ground.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's a DQ. I don't know if Dusty wanted the night off, Nikita wanted the night off, or they didn't want to expose the fact that Pietrov couldn't wrestle.
I think that is more likely. I think he probably, they had probably taught him to do a clothesline and a body slam.
And they're like,
at that point. So it's just like, come out.
We did it.
Cut a promo, Ivan. We'll have a little scuffle, and that's it. They're out of there. And the main... Oh, there it is. Well, we didn't make it. Again, we went over.
Okay, all good.
Anyway, we're almost done. We almost made it.
We went over. It's okay. That means we're giving them content.
The World Tag Team Champions, the real R&R, Ravishing and Raging, Manny Fernandez and Ravishing Rick Rude with their manager, number one Paul Jones, defending the World Tag Team Championships against the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, and their manager, Precious Paul Ellering. This is a fantastic match. I think when the pairing of Fernandez and Rude at the time maybe didn't make a lot of sense, but understanding now that Rude was still pretty new to the business, although he had been like world class championship. Yeah. He had been their world champion before coming to Crockett,
and still and managed by Percy Pringle.
Pringle, that's right. And but still, maybe had not learned all he needed to learn in the ring. They pair him up with a wily veteran, Manny Fernandez. And as a kid, there's a lot of shit went over my head as a kid. Specifically, I never understood that the Paul Jones, his gimmick before this, where he was, Paul Jones Army, I did not get that he was dressed up like Hitler as a little kid.
Sure.
And then also with Raging Bull and Manny Fernandez, I never got just visually, fucking mustaches and mullets. That's their unifying look. But obviously it is. And they were a great tag team. I remember when they won those titles from the Rock and Roll Express, and a barn burner of a match that happened on Saturday night, World Championship Wrestling. that might have been that was like the greatest match I'd ever seen on TV up to that point. I remember being completely enthralled. So they were a great tag team. Here they are against the Road Warriors. And, you know, they have a Road Warriors match. They bounce around a little bit. Fernandez does. You have a couple of awesome sort of like tests of strength with Hawk and Rick Rude that were really nice. Some referee involvement. And what was the finish on this one?
DQ.
That happens and you see it. But I think this was like one of Teddy Long's like maybe first big shows as a referee, because like he definitely was not completely on the ball, and forgets to signal for the bell when it's time. But yeah, the Road Warriors win by DQ. And then if we're to believe the history books, after this was an hour-long Broadway between Barry Windham and the Nation Boy Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship. So this would have been a great show, top to bottom, I think, for anybody that was in attendance in 1987 at the Omni, and for anybody now who maybe, you know, hears people like us talk about that era of wrestling, and that, you know, and not just 87. We're talking about, you know, Crockett NWA 87, because like, NWA 87 was still very different from, even though it was the same year, WWF 87, vastly different sort of experience.
Yeah. And a couple quick notes from that final match. Manny would do the fake karate bullshit.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Didn't really know karate.
He didn't, he did not know karate. And nor did he look like he knew karate.
Yeah.
So that was always the thing with Manny.
He's also not in Vietnam. He's also not on the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Miami Dolphins, which he also claims. So Arn and Animal were on the same Fat Boy steroid system.
Okay.
And Rude and Hulk were doing that lean shit.
Super lean. And it's funny because looking back, you know, I always thought like, as a kid, I was like, man, Rick Rude, I mean, he's like built and everything, but he's like kind of skinny. And
I know. Like, I always when I first saw, I was just like,
when we were kids,
I was like, can that guy go to WWE and make it? Because he's got it, but it seems like a smaller version. I'm just so like when he left, I was just like, "Ooh, good luck." And then I mean, wow.
But but that was like little kids' eyes, because like going back and watching, seeing this on on the vault was like, oh yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I guess
it was more than okay.
again, compared to like Nikita Koloff, and compared to like, but even like, you put him next to Hawk in the ring, it's like, I don't know. I mean, shoulder width was pretty similar.
I said he was just leaned out. So, Also, take away. So you have Ravishing Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez, who called themselves the R&R Express.
The real R&R.
The real R&R Express. Also, we learned a couple weeks ago, didn't they call themselves, was it Damage Incorporated or something that I had never heard before? But
we haven't talked about that. But there's
a promo.
And I think there was a lower third graphic.
What was it?
Where they were actually like, something fucking incorporated.
Yeah, like Damage Incorporated or Pain Incorporated, whatever, which I'd never heard before.
I had thought about that
I'm guessing he only used in one promo, if two at most. Do a Wikipedia search of Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude. They were called the Awesome Twosome.
They were the Awesome Twosome. Yeah.
I'm just like, how many names do these two guys need?
Well, they're just workshopping. It was
going against the wall.
All right, go out there and this week, you're the Awesome Twosome. You cut a promo, baby. Sell me some tickets. Damage Incorporated. We're gonna put it on TV screen. We're gonna see how it goes.
Vince would never
just just throw different shit out every week.
Yeah, apparently Triple H has Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Well, you had the Viking Experience one week, and then the next week it was the Viking Raiders. So
I still like War Machine more than any of them.
And they're coming back as War Machine.
Are they?
What I hear.
That warms my heart.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of a super-sized edition
Who knew?
of Wrestling After Show. Well, if
Little Jimmy Garvin
if
took
we're,
us down a
if
path.
we're gonna talk about anything Crockett, it was gonna be a while. We had a shit ton of Crockett to talk about today. Thank you so much, WWE Vault, for providing that and more of that.
Yep.
And if the comment section of that particular video or any indication, I think we will be seeing more of that era and specifically Crockett Promotions on that WWE Vault channel in the near future. So please subscribe to them if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel, the Reality After Show channel, if you haven't already. Be sure to like this video, leave us a comment.
Yeah, please.
This guy reads all of them. What do you got going on there, Fairplay?
As Heath mentioned earlier, check the show notes. We're going to have a link to to what
Red
we just
Cross.
watched. The Vault edition of WWE that we've been discussing. We're also going to have a link to the Red Cross where you can donate, and you'll also find a link to my Over the Edge charity deal. I am running a half marathon next Saturday, October 12th.
Tell the people all about it.
I ran a quarter marathon yesterday.
Okay.
I ended up doing 6.7 miles. I'm insane. So I have a Facebook gimmick, facebook.com/Jonny Fairplay, where you can go if you want to donate a $1 a mile, $5 a mile. Who's to say I could get 13.1 miles? But you can donate there, or we'll have the link. You can just donate directly. You don't have to do the math to the Over the Edge thing. All the money is going to Homeward Trails. It's an animal deal. Danville, Virginia, where Heath and I grew up and reside, and right across the street where Heath still resides, we have an animal shelter in which we have a kill rate of 83%, and the national and state average is 13. So that is unacceptable and unexcusable, and I don't even know how it is possible. So Homeward Trails is coming in. They're donating. I believe so far they've already donated $70,000. They're going to double and triple it. They are here to help this area. They're doing traps. Actually, they're going to be doing traps the day I'm running my half marathon on October 12th. They're coming in the night before. They've been here monthly. They're doing really good things. So I am raising my money for the Over the Edge fundraiser for Homeward Trails. So click that link there. Help them out, because I personally can't fathom a world in which the city that I grew up and made me has a animal kill rate of 8 times more than is humanly possible.
Yeah.
So check that out.
There's that, ladies and gentlemen. So indeed, a lot of worthwhile charities that we're trying to get involved here at Wrestling After Show. But in the meantime, join us again next week. I can't talk anymore because it's been 90 minutes of wrestling discussion. Join us next week where we'll have more hot takes and rampant speculation about the world of professional wrestling. Till then, this is Jonny Fairplay, and I'm Heath Haynes. We'll see you next time here on Wrestling After Show. Lex Luger.